Woo.
All right. Start liking
We're
and
live.
sharing. Yep, we're live.
All right. Hello, everybody. Oh,
All right, let me.
can y'all hear that?
There we
Oh,
go.
it's on.
Yep.
Okay.
15 seconds in.
15
15
seconds.
seconds. Welcome, everyone, to our first live stream. Hello, hello to all my good friends, family, colleagues, and other humans. We are the Black Trans Men of Ohio. Welcome to our live stream. So let's start with we are a collection of Black transmasculine people who seek to increase the visibility and equity of Black transmasculine individuals through community building, mentorship, and providing access to resources in the state of Ohio. Thank you for attending our live stream. So, who I'm going to start. My name is Eric Bear. My pronouns are he, him, they, them when I'm feeling special. Um, and I identify as a transgender man, or just a man, as I like to call it. Um, and then on some days, I'm just a human being who wants to exist in my authenticity, since that is the theme and the topic for our evening. So let's go around. Everybody say your name, your pronouns, how you identify, and if you want to add something about you, what I got, because I know with our support groups as well, if anybody attends those who might be watching this now or later, we'd like to do a little icebreaker. So if you want to name something that you are proud of that you did in the past year, I didn't do that part, but we'll
Do you
come
want
back
to
around to me.
speak on that?
We can come back around. We can come back around to me. We're gonna start with Chris, the president of Black Trans Men of Ohio. Go, Chris.
Oh, snap. Hello, everybody. It's I, Chris. Uh, I am go by he, him pronouns. Chris, as he said, I am the president of Black Trans Men of Ohio. What is it that something I did the past year that I'm proud of? I would say I decided to go back to school, which is something that I told myself I wasn't going to do because I've been in school all my life and I need to be a grown up, but I went back to school anyway.
Nice.
So that's all I got. So now I'm going to pass it on to the VP, Chauncey.
Peace, y'all. My name is Chauncey, the vice president of the Black Trans Men of Ohio. My pronouns are he, him, and I identify as a man with several unique experiences, one of them being a trans masculine experience. Um, Something that I'm proud of that I have done this year would be, I think, an intentional I could show up the way that I need to show up for myself, for my loved ones, and for my community. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it to uh, X. Let them know, X.
What's up, everybody? I am India, aka Indalo. Uh, I use all the pronouns, all of them. I fit completely
That's
under every letter of the rainbow. I am a two spirit, so I embrace both masculine and feminine aspects of myself. Something that I did in the past year, I would have to say the past 2 years, and that would be traveling to South Africa. That was something definitely to check off of my bucket list was get passport and being able to travel back to the motherland, which is beautiful. So that's definitely something I was proud of.
It's dope.
nice.
Hello, everyone. My name is Malachi Carroll. Everyone calls me Mel. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I identify as a trans man. Something that I am most proud of about this year is overcoming my fear of public speaking. That's something I've battled with for years and no secretly, and no one knew. And now I feel like I'm okay, and I don't have to be afraid of speaking in public.
I
Oh,
love that.
it's
That's
amazing, man.
beautiful.
It's not easy.
Say that because then you got to be visible, right? You got to be
Right,
authentic in the way that you speak and show up, which
Got
brings
to.
us to our topic. Yes.
right.
It does.
So, living authentically. Let's start with the definition of authentic, just so everybody is on the same page. We got three different definitions, and they're coming from the merriam-webster.com, just so everybody knows what source I'm using. One, worthy of acceptance or belief as conforming to or based on fact. Two, not false or imitation. And number three, true to one's own personality, spirit, or character. So, what I want to point out about those three different definitions is two of them are based very much on comparison to a pre existing thing. The third one is based on your self actualization, the comparison of yourself to you. So we're gonna focus obviously on the third one, being true to one's own personality, spirit, or character.
Hmm.
I think that's our focus when we're thinking about living authentically. We're owning our own sense of self realization, self actualization. So, question being, how do we define authentic for ourselves? What does living authentically look like, feel like? You can start with your definition if somebody wants to share.
I think that for me, living authentically, one of the things that stood out when you were the definition was not false or imitation, real, actual, right? Um, and for me, authenticity looks like for me is again, as I just forestated, just showing up as who I am and allowing other people to adjust and moving through the world that way because that's the only way that I'm going to attract and be in what is for me. So authenticity is just being it's just me, no matter who it upsets, no matter what I might have been taught about things. It's just showing up as me.
Nice. I think I saw India unmute for a second.
Living authentic to me, first of all, authentic in the word authentic, you hear Arthur. So, who is the author of your story? Who is the author of your book, your life? So, piggyback off what Chauncey saying, yes, it's that's exactly what it is. It's being you, no matter what, in that present time, day, hour, minute, second. Just living your best life to the best that you can. Living living every day as who it is that you are, your beliefs, your morals, your values, your foundation, doing the things that you enjoy, making your own choices, making your own decisions, and really following one's own intuition, one's own guidance.
Thank you.
For me, it's like it's living out loud, living everything that I feel on the inside. I'm feeling on the outside, and living it out loud without being ashamed of what other people say, think, or do. Just living who I am.
Yes.
guess for me, the thought of authentic is honestly just being real, right? Kind of like I feel like that was said already too. Just being real and being true to yourself, right? Because it's for me like I feel like be living my authentic self is me no longer living a lie because as if you because my thing is for if you tell a lie, you got to remember what you said, right? So having to remember to be this person every day gets tiring, right? So why not be true to myself and be my authentic self? The way I gotta just be myself and not to worry about who I wake up to be, right? I'm just me when I wake up, and so it's the authentic version of me. So yeah,
Absolutely. I agree with all of that. And I'll add that for me, living authentically is very much allowing myself to be different when I wake up and I feel different. I don't have to be stuck in just being who I've told everyone I was for so long. I can wake up and decide to change just as much as I can wake up and decide to stay the same. Because sometimes that authenticity is admitting when you're perpetuating a cycle that doesn't fit who you want to be. And you can't get closer to that authenticity without every now and then taking account for the parts of you that maybe at one point were authentic to who you are and to what you wanted and who you wanted to be, but are no longer a part of that vision that you have for yourself, right? What
I
else we
think
got?
that's a really key thing. My bad. We moving on.
No.
I just wanted to add on, man. Like, I think that's a really key thing because as when we're doing this, what we're doing right here, which is being visible in our authentic experience in life, right? I think it's so important to talk about authenticity because there's so many messages that we receive. There's so many things that tell us what we are not and also equate the things that we are to less than divine and troublesome and problematic and unreal. So there's so many layers to authenticity, but I think it's so special to talk about authenticity within this community, within the nuance that is us, because we fight some serious battles in just existence. You know what I'm saying? So it's one thing to survive, but I think also authenticity means to me is beginning to thrive in who you are. It's not just being able to wake up and like survive the day. It's being able to win the day and know that you are worthy of that. So I think just as it relates to our specific experience, and although our all of our experiences are not monolithic, I think that we can all agree we deal with some similar issues in just being affirmed in our existence. So I think authenticity goes hand in hand with that, and our authenticity is 100% revolutionary because it is a war. It's a battle day to day to be able to do this, to show up this way. So
Absolutely.
yeah, man,
Look,
it's a real thing.
every day having to get up and just go outside and know that your mere existence is a challenge to most people's normal, right? Like they don't see it. They might not see it, they might see it, but they probably don't see it every single day just interacting with you because they're normal. That might be a struggle for them for all we know.
yeah,
Like everybody struggle a little bit. We all struggle with being authentic in ourselves. And I think one of the things that we get that is unique in our experience as transmasculine people um, is showing up in the ways where, and let's bring in, Black culture, being LGBTQ in a Black family often means you're not supposed to talk about that. You're not supposed to live it out loud. You're supposed to be quiet in your corner and do that over there. We don't talk about that. And so I think another part of that authenticity is living out loud. Like, no, I'm here. We're going to talk about it, because not talking about it makes me uncomfortable, and I'm not here to make you comfortable. I'm here to make me comfortable. And that means I got to be loud and show up every day. Like, no, this is me. I'm standing firm in that. This is me.
Exactly. It's living outside the box. Like, because it's funny how, as a kid, we're told you grow up to be whatever, anything you want to be. And then you get older, they're like, oh, except for
Right.
that, or this, or that. Oh, nope, don't go over there. Can't do that either.
Mhm.
Like, what? It's like, hold on, no, what's going on? So it's definitely just reminded me of the song you was talking, started here, Whatever It Takes by Imagine Dragons.
Mm.
Right? Breaking them
I don't know if I heard
chains.
that.
Oh, it's a beautiful song. It's a beautiful song.
I'll have to check it out. Imagine Dragons is a band I've heard of. I know they have one song that I'm like, this is powerful. That's really a powerful song. So
Yeah, they got a few of them. That's one of my favorite right there. But yeah, definitely live it out loud, breaking the chains, not staying in anybody's box, having to fit this or fit that to mm-mm. It literally can still be whatever it is that we supposed to be, that we are in line with.
I can't help it. There's only some kind of boxes you want to be in, you know?
Right.
Just saying.
I,
Some
I don't like
boxes
being in
only.
boxes. I like my food in boxes, but I don't like to be in boxes. So
It was a
that's just me
different kind of
personally.
it was a different kind of box, but
My fault. We weren't talking about food. Okay.
we can. It's definitely
Look,
something
don't
you eat. You
y'all
know,
know we like food over here now.
we love some
Yeah,
food.
Yeah.
exactly. Eventually the conversation is going to get around to food. Like one of us will
Yeah.
bring it.
Just a little bit.
If one of us ain't eating on camera anyway, like
That part, right? That part. Shoot. Yeah.
if I had food, let me go get a snack.
Yeah. Shoot.
I don't even have any sunflower seeds.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. So I know what to get you for Christmas though. Just I already wrote it down.
Sunflower seeds, barbecue.
Barbecue.
And I used to do. You ever had the ranch ones?
Yeah, I like the ranch ones too, but I eat the barbecue more. But I like the ranch ones. And then
Right.
they have a hot and spicy one now too that I
Mm,
like.
yeah. But once you get the favorite ones, going back to like the plain original ones is not the same. You just can't do it no more. You can't
I
do
know.
the
Yeah.
the base. It's just too basic.
Yeah. Like it don't taste bland. It's bland.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though we shouldn't be doing all that salt, but that's a conversation for another day.
I mean, it's salt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good for your skin.
Now
Is
now I'm
it?
now I'm sitting here hoping that my doctor is not on the live watching or some stuff like I know why your blood pressure was high because I know that you eat all those.
Mm, bags of them just going through
Boxes, because
'em.
I think you can get like cases of them at Sam's Club, right? Like, those, right?
Yeah. Uh
Yeah.
huh.
Yeah.
I love the confirmation. I was like, you can stop.
Right.
Just in case
Uh,
my doctor is here.
I was
All
like,
You
right.
you
know.
see, I got quiet. Like
All
you
right.
think
I
about.
was just I just had a thought. I had to
Okay,
get it
we're
out.
gonna
I had
stop
to get the
telling
thought out.
each other.
Okay, my fault.
Chris, you being hot.
Right.
You being hot right now.
I was just got curious. My brain went whole different direction. I was like, yeah, you can do that, and then that, and I was forgetting that we're
Mm-mm,
not supposed to do it in the first place. But
mm-mm.
I'm grown, goddamn it. I do what I want.
That was the whole
Living
point of getting old,
authentic.
right?
Authentic, yes.
Yes. Authentically choosing what we want every day. Because as a child, we didn't get them options.
Right,
What child
right.
really does, you know?
Nah.
Now we get to be
And
as authentic
sometimes
as we want to
we
be.
didn't need them options either as children
Well,
Accurate.
this
because
generation.
I would have literally had an entire diet of Fruit Loops I was left to my own vices as a child. So Fruit Loops and Star Crunches, that would have been it. Sorry.
Well, the kids these days get whatever
Good.
they get options. You
They
know,
do.
Mm.
they get options. Like no, when I was a kid, no, you're gonna eat this. I don't. You're like, okay, go to bed.
Yeah, I've heard that. I'm not a
Yeah.
cereal eater, so I don't know. So
Look, I ate. Apparently I wasn't picky as a child. I'm way more pickier now.
mm,
But as a kid, I ate apparently. So didn't have them problems.
good to know.
So let's get back on task a little bit. We're gonna talk about like things that we do for ourselves daily, weekly, monthly, whatever kind of, I'll say, ritualistic routine um, habits that you have that help you live authentically, if you have any at all, I suppose.
You know, I will say what brings me joy and what makes me feel like I'm living authentically. I don't know. A lot of people know that I love being in my yard and being in my yard with no shirt on, no shoes on, just in my yard doing yard work or just being in my yard. I love my backyard, so I enjoy just being who I am, just out there with the wind blowing. You know.
Yes, with the plants that you put in the ground,
Exactly.
that you nurtured.
Yeah.
Very Cancer of you.
And I will say that the stuff that I've grown is fresher than anything I ever eat. Now I don't even want to go to the store and buy certain things. I'm like, mine was better.
Nice. Mine was better. Gardening in general. Do you do flowers?
I do. I have flowers too. My flowers are in
Nice.
the front, and then I have a set of flowers that come up. They should be coming up pretty soon. They're winter. They come up and they're purple, and they're in remembrance of my mother.
That's beautiful.
Amazing. That's
Yeah,
beautiful, man.
yeah.
I don't even
That's
know how
actually
to
a
And
really
that
dope practice.
myself. Go ahead.
I know
No,
you're
you
good.
good.
We all,
I
we
just
we
want to say,
connected, so we think of stuff at the same time.
right, right. That's energy flow. Um,
Right?
I really just wanted to point out that that practice of actually being outside with no shirt, no shoes, and with your hands and feet in the soil, like that is grounding. And one of the greatest things that we can do to root ourselves, literally ground ourselves,
That's true.
bring us back to a point of stability and calm and reaching up and bringing us out we get flighty sometimes, we get out there, everything is buzzing around us, but just bringing us back to a root, you know what I mean? So that's certainly inspiring. um get your hands, get your feet dirty, you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's good stuff.
Love a good earthing, you know.
Mm.
I just go outside barefooted. The- Like I did this now
That'll
to get
work
my
too.
hoodie out the car because it was cold. So that I earthed today. I earthed today. I
Earth.
went outside, no shoes, to get my hoodie out the car. Like,
Shout out to the earth
Right.
signs in the building.
hey,
True.
Earth, not Earth, but Earth.
Earth.
Earth
Yeah,
with an I.
earth with an F. Earth.
The
Earth.
earth signs.
Earth. Yeah, yeah.
Yes, yes.
I'm trying to think of what I do.
Oh, I got something. Uh, my spiritual baths. I
Hmm.
do those a few times out the week. definitely. Just get my salts, my special mixes. I'm not gonna share my secret.
Hmm.
Put it
That's
in
right.
there. Right, right. Yeah, I keep some stuff secret. Uh, and I just
Pretty sure those are for
meditate.
sale. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
you
definitely,
can
definitely.
buy that secret.
I ain't got a tester on there, but yeah, on the website. My stuff is in the closet, so next time I have it, so y'all can at least get a visual. Yes, you could definitely buy those salts, several different kinds. Check out the website, be the light reflection.com.
There you go. There you go.
Um,
Nice little plug for you.
right, just a little bit.
Hmm.
Spiritual baths, praying, and pathing. Um, pathing is something that I learned from my fiance. He's from South Africa, and that's how you communicate with the ancestors. So it's similar to praying, except for when you pray to the Most High. We'll go with that term. We
Right.
all got different terms and nouns that we use, and you communicate with your ancestors. The ones that you know, the ones that you don't know, and just communicate them. Communicate with them. You introduce yourself if you never did it before. Um, you allow them to introduce themselves to you, and it's a bonding moment, a family bonding moment.
Hmm.
I like that. Good
I feel like I need to know more about that.
ancestor, a nice ancestral worship chat, not worship chat.
Yeah, little check in, like, so yeah, how's it going over there? What's going on over here? Can you help me out with this?
Yeah,
Or just saying thank you.
I'm super interested in that. I want to know more about that. Maybe another topic another day.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely. That was just a brief overview. It gets pretty in depth.
I'm sure spirituality will be one of the topics we'll cover in a future live stream. That definitely feels on brand for our conversations. Um, I
Also
can
very
talk about
necessary.
something.
I think a lot of people skip past that. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Let me bring you down. So something I found that to be really affirming that I did not think about um, was being able to not just go to the beach and wear like a nice little swim trunk and be good, but also get that nice even front tan. Did not know how good that would feel until I got it. And it was like the next day, and I'm like, wow, there's no like visible tan lines from wearing a bra or a swim top, whatever. Um, I had a nice even brown. It was really affirming. I liked that a lot. And I
You
think
was fully
just
cooked chicken.
exactly fully was
I like that. I like
fried
that.
on both sides.
Both sides baked impeccably. 350.
Hmm.
Rotisserie style. Just
There you go.
All right, I'm done. I'm done. Don't pay me no mind.
It's funny because we went. It was a family thing, and we went and we all got. They called them floaties, and when people say floaties, I was thinking the ones you put on your arms, right?
Yeah. Mm.
But they were inflatables that you sent in like an inner tube.
Oh,
Oh
okay.
And
yeah.
they had at Walmart, they had a sale for one that was a chair with a cup holder, and it was like $3. I was like,
Oh
I'm
wow.
getting this. And I literally sat and you could just sit and float in that. I didn't even have to be in water for real. Like I was in the shallow by the sand and still floating. It was amazing. I loved it.
Nice.
That's that water baby shit stuff. Excuse my language.
But see, I wish I could do things like that in real life. Like I'm too ADD, so I'll be sitting there like okay, now what though? Like I'm here, I did it. Now what do you do? It don't matter what. It doesn't matter what depth that I'm in. Like I'm just like, okay, what do we do
Just
now
sit.
that we're here in this chair sitting? I don't know. That's
Drink.
why
Just you
I
relax.
guess that's for me. That's why this
Yeah.
question was hard. I guess that's why this question was hard for me, and I didn't really want to answer it because it was like, what is it that I do? You know, to be, and it just, I don't know. For me, it just what I do daily to feel authentic, or that I do authentic. Like, I don't know. I just breathe, like
That counts.
Yeah.
because because in reality, I don't feel like, even though I chose to live as myself, I feel like I've always lived as myself, right? But now I look like myself. I
Mhm.
am recognized externally as myself, because internally I always saw myself as this person. But now that the world sees this person, I feel like I'm still doing the same things, like being the same person. And I think now it makes more sense of why I was, the way I lived my life the way I did. So I don't know. That's just my thought on it. Like I was sitting here thinking, like, how could I answer this question? Because I didn't have an answer. Like, what is it that I do? Ritualize consciousness, nothing. Just me, and
That
like it
counts.
or love it, that's who I am. So
That's absolutely. Oh, that counts. That's a great answer because, and I think it speaks to your experience as one that like is probably familiar to other trans men and other transmasculine people, that like it just makes you were doing the same things, now it just makes sense.
Mhm.
Like
mhm,
now that you are more authentic in who you are on the outside, it makes more sense that okay, of course I was doing that, of course I was wearing men's clothes, and of course I was like this or whatever, of course I like to fix cars. Not that non-trans masculine people don't do that, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
It makes sense now, and that if that's your daily, weekly, authentic self, that's it.
Yeah. I've always called myself a gentle person, open the doors for the ladies, buying the flowers, because every person around me, they better not touch that door because I'm the one that's opening it. I've always been that person my whole life, Now it just doesn't look weird when I do it, I guess.
Right. Now it looks very heteronormative.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
That's-
okay, this is what I wanted.
mhm. Yeah.
Um, I think to piggyback off what you said, Chris, is that you know, one of the things that I stated in the beginning of this call, like just doing for myself, what am I proud of, and just having a pointed intention around like healing and showing up as my authentic self. But one of the pieces I think that a lot of us often, and this is not only specific to the trans masculine community, but I think it also collides into that intersectionality, being a black person, um, even being a person of masculine experience, um, that oftentimes we do not prioritize uh, rest and play. Um, I have recently had a conversation with a good friend of mine, and the conversation around like planning play and rest um, never really occurred to me. We plan everything else, right? Like we got to go to work. We set our alarms for work. We have meetings. We set those alarms. We put those on the calendar. We have all of these various things that we must do, right? Um,
Mhm.
but we oftentimes, I mean, we do play when we do rest, but they're usually kind of symptomatic. You go to bed because you're tired. You never say to yourself, you know what, this week I'm going to bed at 9:30 every day, and I'm not waking up until 6 a.m. because I'm prioritizing rest for my body. There's not many people who do that in today's world. There's not many people that say, you know what, I do have studying to do. I do have things that are important to me that I must accomplish. However, Saturday from 4 to 8, I am gonna go skating. Like as an adult, I mean, how many times do we do that for ourselves? We don't, and I think that that ties into the topic in that um, we really miss out on getting to know pieces of ourselves because we're in this grind culture. We're in a grind culture that says accomplish, 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 but not realizing that oftentimes we're accomplishing things slower because we're not allowing our body to recuperate. As somebody who is very adamant about training my body, I do understand that between each set, I need to rest in order to so that I have the strength to go into the next set. But we don't take that thought process into life, and I think that leaves us a lot of times just checking off boxes, which really inhibits our authenticity because we're not fully getting to know ourselves by allowing ourselves to see what it is that we like to do, explore the things that feel good to us. You know, pleasure is something that's just not centered. Typically, in a black masculine aspect, pleasure is just not centered for us. So I think that, you know, showing up, amen. Like that is how you are authentic. But I think that I have just recently learned, and when I say recently learned, I mean within the last 30 days, how important it is to actually prioritize rest and prioritize play in your life.
Definitely. I learned that truth slapped me in the face after my divorce. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna date myself. I'm going to date myself. Until then, until even still now, like I tell my fiance, like I'm still dating. What are you doing? I'm taking myself out on a date. What you mean? I'm gonna go to this restaurant, go to this movie, cause I deserve this. I'm about
Yes,
to go watch
Yeah,
the new Equalizer, and you can do what you do. I'm gonna be over here.
that's right.
But definitely, definitely, I
Yeah, yeah.
definitely agree with that.
You know what? I'll take that back. I'm gonna circle all the way back to the beginning of this podcast. Right? What was the icebreaker? It was got my notes.
Uh,
What is it that we did this last year that we're proud of? I
yes,
will take that back. And it's not going back to school. Is I went camping by myself this year. Like I did a
mm,
trip all by myself for a weekend, just me, for me, right? Because if
nice.
people say all the time, I'm always doing for others, pouring into people, and whenever do I do it for myself? I don't, but I did this year in itself. I did. I will say that I it made even in my scheduling of things because if y'all know me, if you want me to be there, you got to tell me so I can put it on my calendar because I want to forget, right? So
Yes,
I've actually intentionally even done that for myself. I've actually done that in putting myself on my schedule so that I can have time for myself. So that is something I will say that I've done this year that I'm proud of is actually intentionally make space for me in reality. So yeah.
amen, amen.
and look, we're proud of you because we know that's hard for you. That's a
Facts.
big deal for you. So good job, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
How was it? Since we talking about camping.
It was good. I actually laid down in the grass with just my shirt on. I didn't care. I didn't know none of the people around me. They weren't gonna see me again. Right.
Hold
So
on,
I
They
was just in
won't.
there in my
women,
shorts, no shirt.
women.
Like,
Oh, no shirt.
He said.
Okay,
He said it
because
the wrong way the first time. We
I
thought you
probably
was
said it
Winnie the
wrong.
Pooh out
I
here.
was
I was say
I
now.
mean, I was close, but there was kids in the one beside us. I would have been, but I had no shirt. I thought I said shirt. No shirt, just shorts, and just laying in the grass, chilling, no shoes, just you know, naturing, getting that earth in, over the summer, just by myself, you know, meditating, doing all the
That's
things.
beautiful.
It sounds peaceful.
Yeah. But all right. So we
All
should
right.
break here soon, y'all. What do we think? Get some water, hydrate, because I forgot my
Now
water.
we having an intermission.
Yeah, still quick intermission, and then bring ourselves back. Y'all
Well, it's
down?
6:40 now.
Come back at
Intermission be
let's do about 5 minutes. Still 6:45. Let's come back.
okay.
Make
That's cool.
sure everybody make sure you sharing, liking the stream and all that. Make sure we get out there. But yeah, let's be back in 5, y'all.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
All right. So we are back. I wonder how many people watching us live knew what our topic was tonight. I still have, because I got the swag bag ready and available right here. Yeah.
Comes through
Got,
swag bag.
got the BTMO swag bag. Got a little bit of goodies. We got the good looking, bracelet in it. How it was work. Right there. Just like that. Yeah.
Special edition, limited edition.
Because not everybody get this one. Not
That's
everybody
right.
get this one. This is, this one's the exclusive.
That's right.
Exclusive.
Exclusivity right here.
It's legit my favorite one actually.
It's really nice. I didn't think I would like it, but it's really nice actually.
See, look, like right there. See, X got his.
Mhm.
Right.
I don't know where mine's
There
at.
you go. Two-tone paint job. Two-tone paint job with the gold on it.
Right. Got a little hand sanitizer. That's it.
Gotta
There's
keep
more
it
in here, but I ain't
organic
gonna
and
give it all
clean.
away because it gives away the surprise.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the same one, bro. That's not the.
I love this one, so I was like, "How'd you know? How'd you know,
Oh, is
bro?"
that the black one with the? It smells real nice.
Ocean, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I
I,
was like,
I was like,
"How'd you
why
know?"
does that smell like that?
I love this one, man. That was I used to buy that all the time. Bath and Body Works was taking all my money.
they do that and easily, very easily. Do they take your money? They be like, it's a sale, so you can get three for three. Yeah, you get
Mm-hmm.
three for five. Right? You
You
go in
going
there
for
and
one.
spend. You go in there and spend $90 easy every time I go in there. 90. It doesn't matter if I'm going there for myself, going in there for the wife, regardless. I'm going in there for three things: just the body wash, the lotion, and the spray. And somehow I come out with like three body washes, three sprays, and three lotions.
Well, you,
It's
my
like
That's
Right.
wife,
because they be having a
$120.
deal, bro. They be having a deal.
Is it
and
a deal though?
my wife
It's
gets the
not really a deal, but if they make you feel like it's a deal, then you be willing to deal. You know what I mean?
my wife actually gets the coupon. So we not only do the coupons,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
I mean she has to go before the coupons run out. So,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Speaking
speaking
of,
of,
Speaking of,
Right.
speaking of,
I go in there and I
all
still
she
smell
heard,
love spells.
all she heard was what we were talking about. So, oh, that's my store. Let me get in here.
yeah, Mrs. Carol in the house.
I go in there and I still smell the love spell because I don't know, my generation in high school, that's what all the ladies wore. And it was just like, who
oh,
got
and
that on?
cucumber melon. It was love spell cucumber melon. Yeah, the two. That was
It
it.
still smells good to me. So somebody wearing that, I'm like, wait,
Hey, don't forget that. Don't
smell
forget that
good.
cherry blossom.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
That
The
was
cherry
the
I
other
get
blossom I can get
my
with.
grandmother loved that one.
I love a nice old lady smell. The cucumber melon, I couldn't do
Mhm.
it. That bothered my nose. I don't know
Well,
what
it
it
hurts my
was,
soul.
but you give me a nice look. My aunt, who just passed away, she was a Chanel number 5 wearer.
Uh-huh.
So
Chanel number 5, man.
look, I
My
That's
was
the
like,
grandmother's was
generation.
white diamond.
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I was
White
finna say.
yeah.
That
diamond.
white diamond.
My mama is white diamonds. I think she love that.
Hey, what was the name
Elizabeth
of
Taylor.
them little can sprays they used to use? They had them in all different colors. The little can, you know what y'all know what I'm talking about. They
I
was
Um,
on
know
everybody mama
Mm-hmm.
and them.
they was on different colors.
was it
Everybody,
I know
was
yeah,
it
the
yeah,
the
can with the
Jovan
head
Musk?
on.
yeah,
Yeah.
They had the
yeah.
Jovan Musk and the Vanilla Musk, and then they had a whole bunch of different.
All of it.
Uh-huh.
hmm Look, that Jovan
That
Musk
was
was
Bath
my
and Body Works
shit.
before Bath and Body Works.
Right.
Right.
I was down for those. Those were mine.
Yeah.
I ain't stepped into a Bath and Body Works ever in my life. I don't think.
Yeah, I was just there today because we were in another city. We were in Cleveland, so we have to go.
You gotta check out them prices.
because they
How
definitely
much
have
you use
different
the
things
lip
than they do
balm?
in Dayton and Columbus, right? They got
Yeah.
to. Ain't no way.
And then
That is
she's a
interesting.
lip gloss wearer, so we have to make sure she finds the lip gloss, the seasonal lip gloss that only comes out, It's like, what in the world?
I
You
got
can
that
have this
plotted
pumpkin
out.
spice latte lip gloss every year.
But real true story, true story. I do want to do shout out to Bath and Body Works because they did donate to us. So I don't mind us talking about it because we hit them up and they were like, "How can we help?" I was like, we have our hygiene kits, right? That for those who were emergency need hygiene kits, they can reach out on our website and get one, right, and apply. And we was like, you know, would you be open to donating some soap and lotion? See, Bear got some right there that they donated to us. So anybody that as right now for currently in supply, as long as the supply lasts, and everyone that puts
Got the
in
hand
for
soap.
emergency hygiene, that's what they're getting in those kits, thanks to Bath and Body Works. So shout out to them.
Shout out to
shout,
Bath and
True
Body
story, right?
Works.
shout out to
That
Bath and
Yeah,
Body Works.
Yeah.
right.
that whiskey reserve. Look, that whiskey reserve cologne. I put that all over my body. I be smelling so nice. I love that.
The wife
Uh
says
oh,
certain lip glosses, though, not all of them. So I just want to make sure we put that
somebody
out
done
there.
started some.
Gotta correct that.
Yeah,
Fact check.
specific. Right,
Right. Oh,
specific.
speaking of products,
There you go.
There you
Be,
go.
here
be
they
the
go.
light.
Be the light bath
Need the
salts.
Yes.
what's
Essential bath salts.
essential bath salts necessary.
Yes. Yes. They are
Yeah.
infused with essential oils. Natural. 100%.
Essential on two different levels.
So you can take a bath and get out, not put on no lotion or baby oil, and still won't be ashy. Good.
Ash gives you character, I heard. No,
Look, it'll give you character, all right. But everybody gonna be laughing at you. You gonna be the joke.
Mr. Brown.
Right.
oh shoot.
Lord have mercy.
How many people we got watching? Who else in the audience? We need some more comments. Let us know who out there.
Yeah. Like and share. Like and share.
Right. One day I'm gonna learn to be a YouTuber.
Like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. We gotta get this connected to the YouTube.
Thought I did, but I
You
got to
can do
double
that.
check that. To be honest.
I could do it.
Oh, this is like perfect for what we talk for the
I do
topic.
just want to say for those who are watching in the audience right now, um, what's that?
Oh no, go ahead.
Which is it?
Oh, go ahead.
Um, I just real quick want to say for those who are watching, please do uh, share this with your friends. Even if you're not sharing it live, we would like you to share it live, but share it with your friends, share it with your family. The one thing that I want to make sure that the point we get across with this particular platform and this engagement, that it's not specifically just for the transmasculine community. This is really our effort to bridge some gaps, because community starts with communication, right? Like communication fosters understanding, which then fosters relationship, which then that's how we end up in community. So it's really important for us to be clear and very intentional about people understanding that this space is for everyone. Everyone is welcome here. It is a safe and positive space. We are going to be having a very honest and authentic conversation here. And the only way for us to really do all of that is to connect with the community. And that's all community, not just transmasculine individuals. So, those of you who are watching, shout out to y'all. We appreciate y'all for being here. But please pass this on, even if you're just sharing the video on your page. We want to make sure we can reach as many eyes and ears as possible, bring as many people into the conversation so that we can begin to grow. And so,
Absolutely. Speak on it.
Hmm. Now, as I was sharing through Facebook, I seen a post that came up, and I was like, oh, I love how energy just works and flows. It says, the desire to know your own soul will end all other desires. Rumi,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
and namaste.
That part.
Real. Namaste, I say amen, all that. That's
Mhm.
real. That's very real.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nope,
As
don't do
Chris
it.
would say, all the things.
All
All the
the
things.
things
All the things. What
All
we
the
do.
be out
I need
here.
I need to add that to one of our banners. All the things.
Mhm. We just gonna have a collection of 5. Everybody has their own little tagline. We just throw it
Right.
up on the screen every now and then.
Right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
So let's
But what was the last one?
check
A
out.
little bit, just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. I think a little
A
bit
little
is
bit is
fine.
fine.
I think a
Yeah.
little bit is
Yeah,
fine.
but I think a little bit is fine.
True that. True
So we're
that.
gonna check out that scroll. Anybody watching, whether you're watching later or now, that scroll at the bottom, some of them resources and our website down there. Please feel free to check us out if you need hair clippers, emergency HRT and hygiene kits, or an after-top surgery kit. Look,
Yeah. Share
that's
it
hard
with
to
your
say.
people. It is a lot to say. One day we'll figure it out. But share it with those you know who might, also benefit from it as well, because
Absolutely.
that's beneficial too. Even if it's not for you, share it, right? Because we're always here to help each other out. So if we can help them out, just let them know. Just send them to the link or surprise them and order it for them. That could be a thing too.
That could be a thing. You could gift it to somebody.
Yeah.
And that brings us back to what Chauncey was saying, really building community. The more we get out there, our words, their words, everybody deserves to be heard, to be visible, to be authentic in yourself and show up in that authenticity and be not only accepted, not just tolerated, but loved and cherished.
Mhm.
Mhm.
We all deserve that. We're all special to somebody.
True.
Absolutely.
So,
Not the short bus window licking special, but
look, I didn't put any parameters on it. I'm just saying.
I don't know. Sometimes when people say special, I go there. I'm sorry. I'm back now. Apologies.
They can be short bus special. It's okay.
Is that still politically correct? Can we
It
still
is
say
very
that?
much not.
Okay.
I don't think
It
it was
is.
correct back
It
then either.
is.
It was.
It's not.
It was
It is
never. It was never.
quote
Was never.
that is used that we should kind of maybe steer clear of. Um, it sends a message. You know what I mean?
I
Yeah.
apologize. I just had a throwback moment to in the day when people did do those things.
Yeah, we understand, brother. I mean, I think again that really pours into just the authenticity. There's a lot of things that we have learned in our life, and a lot of things that we say on a daily basis. I still say things on a daily basis that are problematic, and I have to be like, well, whoa, why do I believe that, or why do I say that, or what have you? So,
Mhm.
actually, bro, this is a really, again, this is a safe and positive space. Like, ain't nobody hating on nobody over here. We learning, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And that's what we here to do. And I think it's important to create space for learning, right? And just in
Mhm.
general, because if we're not able to tap on each other in love and say, hey man, like, that might not be quite the way we should do that. What are we here for? We got to stop shooting at each other, physically, like in the actual, what I mean, but also in the mental and spiritual realm. We need to take care of each other and really teach each other. So
Yeah.
no harm, no foul, bro. Like it's all love, and I think that people who know your heart, and they know that you ain't on that. So we good. We Gucci.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
And that's
Absolutely.
what we here for. That was beautiful.
The bromance. Just a little bit.
Earth signs
I
doing what
think a
Earth
little bit
signs
fine.
do.
A little bit fine.
A little bit. Just a little.
Man, I don't
That's
care.
right.
Listen, I love my brothers. I tell my people I love them all the time. Like all of that craziness about a man can't tell another man he love him. Well, that you know what I mean? Like a little bit is fine. You're absolutely right. But when it comes to loving my brothers, I pour it on thick. I mean, just in general, when I love my people, like I pour it on thick. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't always gonna text you back, and I'm not always gonna answer your call all the time. But when you need me, I'm gonna be right there. So,
And that's for real.
real life.
I'll get to you eventually. Like I always say all the time, I may be late to the party, but hey, I'm gonna show up though. Like
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
there for that. So,
And if I don't show up, there was a message somewhere that lets you know. I didn't just not show up, for me personally, like,
I don't know.
because I'm
I'll text
moving.
you afterwards. Let you know why.
Text after. Like, my
You know what
bad.
happened was
Right.
There was traffic and I got frustrated and then I just went home.
facts.
Dead
Facts.
ass. Because parking. Ooh, I don't know if I can say that. My bad.
It's-
Parking in downtown Columbus is no game, and I am famous for a circle through, and it head right back up 70 East. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
That's why I called you. What was that Friday night? That's why I
Yeah.
was like, this feels like I'm about to go back home.
I was like,
Let me
I'm good.
call.
I'm
see,
glad you made the effort because had you told me that, I wouldn't even been mad. I was already outside. I would have just walked onto my car. That's all right
You're
onto
like,
my
well,
car.
no harm,
my
no foul. Let's
issue
go.
is if I have to go back home, me coming back out. You better catch me while I'm outside.
Cash me outside.
Catch me while I'm outside.
Outside
Yeah.
once a day. You better fit in that pocket.
Because once I pass limited,
Ain't nothing past there anyway. You going straight
Like,
home.
coming back out, you might not get me to answer my phone no more after that. I don't know what you're talking about.
once I get to a certain part past Broad Street, if you ain't hit me up when I can make a UE safely, you ain't gonna see me. Unless it's a dire emergency. You like, bro, I think I lost my big toe. I'm like, all right, maybe.
You're gonna be on that phone like, maybe you should retrace your steps. While they going, I can't walk. I lost my big toe. What you mean?
I feel like why haven't you called the ambulance? Why are you calling me first?
Why'd you call me?
That's
I can't help you
that,
find it. I
I
wasn't there when
mean,
you lost it.
Yeah,
also you're losing a lot of blood. Like you should probably
yeah.
Okay.
I can
This
give
sounds
you
like a
advice from
911
here,
emergency.
but I'm already almost home. So this is
call
It's
the
like when you
ambulance.
call a doctor or a nurse and they're like, if this is an emergency, please dial 911.
right.
Because I can't help you. I'm not a doctor.
Hey, shout out
But it
Shonda.
includes keeping
You right.
each other accountable. There you go,
Facts.
Shonda.
100%.
Absolutely. Iron sharpens iron.
Mhm.
Yes.
ISI in the building. Thank you for that, Shonda.
That part.
Another
That's
supportive
another thing with
partner
being
showing up.
authentic.
Yes.
Yeah,
Accountability.
yeah.
The hardest person to be 100% with is yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it sounds backwards, but it's like, no, I am real myself. But are you
You're
with it?
not.
That's for real.
Really?
Not always, you're not. That's for sure.
No, you're not.
But you
Yeah.
got to be willing to check that on a daily basis. You know what I'm saying? The momently basis, not even just daily, moment to moment.
Moment to moment. Every time you
Mm-hmm.
part your lips to say something about anything, you got to check within and go, am I speaking from my truth or am I just talking? Because sometimes words just come out. You just saying stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's because you're covering up something. Sometimes it's because you just didn't feel like speaking your full truth in that moment. And sometimes that's for your safety. And then sometimes it's because you just didn't feel like being vulnerable in that moment when you had an option to go deeper and be more vulnerable with somebody.
Sometimes it's almost just code switching. I have to act this
Yeah.
way in front of these group of people and this way in front of these group of people. You know, but when am I acting like? Who am I? You know what I'm saying? Who? When am I
Mhm.
acting to how I feel on the inside, or how I feel about a situation?
Right.
Mm.
Code
That
switching
I,
is an
part.
important
I think
conversation.
we also have to honor the multiplicity within ourselves, though. It's like code switching. So I think it's a fine line too. In code switching, I think that I believe that comes out of just trying to fit into something, but also I think as humans, there's a multiplicity within ourselves. Um, Almost like having multiple personalities. And I know a lot of people don't want to like really admit to address that, but I think it lives within all of us. I think that there is a multiplicity within all of us. We all have characters. We all have like certain sides of us that thrive in different spaces. I think the key is really just understanding how to uh, move with those individuals within self as a collective versus having separate characters for everything. You know what I'm saying? But um, I agree with you, Mel, because I know boy code switching just especially as a black person too, you know what I'm saying? Code switching is like that's part of the lay of the land. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta everybody that telephone call for the interview, you know what's up. Or you show up in a different place, you gotta take a little bit more bass out your voice, or you gotta nod instead of giving them the chin up. You know what I'm saying? There's different things that we do to make sure that we're not making other people feel uh, different sorts of ways about how we are again showing up in this world. Uh, but that's their problem, not mine. You know what I mean? Like they gotta. That's something that we have to unlearn because you always feel bad within yourself about that. Like you always walk away like, "Dang, I could have. Why did I say that?" You always get to overthinking the situation. Why did I say that? Why did I do that? Like I should have said this. Like and then now you stuck for the next hour thinking about something that interaction ain't nobody else even thinking about. So you giving more of your life to that stuff. So it's important, man. We got to take that stress off of ourselves, reduce them cortisol levels.
Absolutely.
And that kind of brings me to my with that kind of bring a thought up, like kind of circling back to our topic is like how does code switching play into being authentic? So,
Well, code switching, in my personal opinion, was more about assimilation. So
Survival.
it was, yeah, survival tactic straight up, because we weren't, as black people, being accepted. And let's just broaden that to, in any colonized space, those people, the original people of those lands, were made to feel like what they were doing wasn't up to par. And so now you should be doing what the colonizers are doing. We came here, we're going to show you our modern ways, and now you should also talk like us and dress like us and eat like us, and like now you have to assimilate in all these different ways. So the only way to survive, because they were violent, was to code switch. Now I got to put on a mask for you, because without this mask I am a threat. How interesting that authenticity is a threat to some people.
mhm.
Oh yeah, definitely. I could say with like I'm a very passionate person. So if I'm talking about something that I'm like really like into, my voice is going to raise and you're going to feel a whole lot of masculine energy come out. And it's like some people are like, well, calm down. Like I am calm. That's my passion. I like
Mhm.
the preacher side, the preacher coming out right now. Like Like, why is he yelling? He's not yelling. He's passionate right now. He in the
He's not yelling. He's a
spirit.
fire sign.
That part. Oh, for code switching, I would say it also depends on how how it's used. Um, I could say like for example, I know with close friends, they see more of my feminine side versus at work, more of my masculine side comes out. I did security, so it's a time and place, but it's just a different aspect of myself. Now, before I really got to know myself, yeah, it was more so survival. Like, okay, well, I gotta do this so I can make sure I don't get in trouble here or offend anybody, or I gotta do this or this or this. But it's like the more I got to know myself, especially through astrology, because when you read your own chart, you're gonna be like, I don't do that. Okay,
Whoa.
maybe I
I
do.
be doing
Okay,
that.
yeah, I do that.
So yeah.
Yeah, so you end up taking a lot of those things and use it in a way that's more positive for you. Just certain time, place for everything. Like the way that I could talk to my mom is not the way that I know and share stuff with her. I can't share that with everybody. Or like
Right.
being like a life coach and a spiritual coach, certain people have different beliefs or think a certain way or perceive the world a certain way. So I have to come in with this person like this, and I have to approach this person like this to meet them where they are.
Right.
And that's
That's
kind of
what.
like how I use my code switching shapeshifter
Yeah,
vibe.
that's important because it's like code switching now. Once you kind of get into a more authentic space, can be an authentic expression of who you are because of the space that you're in. That you're going to express the parts of you that are more comfortable in that space, depending on who you're with. That is still a form of code switching. I like that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I would like to pose the question, like, because code switching often has like a negative stigma around it. You know what I'm saying? So even when you use the language code switching, it looks like, oh, fake, 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 fake.
Hmm.
But I think I really think it's just the ability to channel the multiplicity in you. You know, kind of bringing in what I was saying before about there's just multiple pieces of ourselves, and everybody doesn't get everything, and that's just the truth. And you have to be able to, like, for the sake of self, like, everybody is not going to know. If I have a group of friends that are musicians, my musician friends might not know how much technology means to me. Maybe all we talk about is writing music and writing poetry and composing things. That doesn't mean that I'm being fake with them, but that's how I connected with them. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So I would just like the challenge, just even going forward, that we be willing to, you know, rewrite the tone of that verbiage of code switching in our minds from a negative stigma to something that we can use as a tool to show up more authentically in spaces.
That's a great point. Because the first thing I thought of was assimilation. Like I said, like that was the first thing. Code switching has always been this thing that we used as a tool for survival, but it absolutely is a part of how we show up with certain people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I feel like just in general, just the thought of it, even like my brain is still processing. I'm eventually get to, like I said, I'm gonna show up to the party, okay? But right now, where I'm kind of stuck at is like code switching, being trans in general, like
Hmm.
being trans around family, being trans around your coworker, kind of like how X was just saying, being trans around your coworkers, being your authentic self in as this person, but differently in front of different people. And some would say that's code switching, like because we kind of lived that life a little bit too prior to, right? Because we had to be this version of us that wasn't us in front of certain people for these reasons, for whatever reasons, whether it's religious, family, what have you. Now that, you know, we are living as our true selves, it's just like I guess is it, would you say it's the normal code switching that a black man will have like now versus before, or would you say it's different added layer with being trans?
But what do you mean, like when you say normal? Like, help
Because
me understand what you mean by that.
because I'm a strong believer that all black people, at the end of the day, we all code switch. Like I've never heard of
Yeah,
code switching until, until recently that I learned about it. And I was like, you know what, that's facts. Because I think there was a whole movie about it, about how a black guy sounded like a white guy on this movie the whole time, right?
Mhm.
And so
right.
they're always talking about that. So it's just like when you're talking, bringing your passion into the conversation, but trying to bring it down because you don't want to come across as aggressive, right? So we have
Mm,
to like code switch in that sense, right? Where we have to like tone our voices down or catch ourselves before we become too much, right? So
mhm.
now that's what I mean by like, what is that besides that normality for us? Because I feel like that's, unfortunately, that's Black America, is
Mhm.
we have to like calm ourselves when we just are being passionate about ourselves,
Right.
about whatever we're passionate about. So it's yeah, that's, I forgot what my question was. So
I
but yeah.
think I remember what your question was. I think, are you saying, is there an added layer?
Yeah,
There's
yes.
an added layer of code switching, adding the intersectionality of being trans and black. Was that the question? That I hear you right?
That's it right there. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
in
just
short, yeah.
Trans. Mhm.
Yeah, I think 1,000%. Yeah. I think at the root of code switching, though, when we look at it as how we've used it in the past, it's like it literally just means don't be a threat, as Bear said earlier. Just assimilation, don't be a threat. You know what I mean? But I think each level of code switching, there's nuances to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, when we talk about how each individual show up, even as black individuals within our community, like when you drill down into our intersectionality, there are gonna be nuances in our code switching. Black women have to act one way, black men have to act another way, black kids have to act another way. You know what I'm saying? Like light skinned black folk gotta act another way, dark skinned black folk gotta act another way. You know what I'm saying? Like, people who are larger in stature gotta act another way versus people who are smaller in stature. Like there's so many nuances around that. So when you put transness into that, it just becomes another nuance. And I think that when you add that, start that in a pot with a little imposter syndrome and things of that nature, like it can get real sticky. It can get
Oh,
very sticky. But that's why I would love to challenge us to like in this spirit of authenticity, like really just bringing forth like who we are and then showing up like that, but then also respecting the multiplicity within ourselves. So just because you at work and Bob on the job gets offended or he doesn't like the way that you're saying things, as long as you are being diplomatic and respectful in the way that you carry yourself, you can't worry about how somebody else receives you. Because if we're constantly trying to if we're trying to carry ourselves based on how everybody receives us, then we'll never be authentic to ourselves. And we'll always be in this purgatory of trying to figure stuff out. You know what I'm saying? We have to
Mhm.
show up and let people adjust. Show them your sweatshirt, man. Because I know
mm.
you got it
Oh,
on. You already know. I
yo, be
know.
yourself.
Be
Be
yourself.
yourself, they'll
Yo,
adjust.
just.
And
Yo,
you got to
fact.
let them adjust.
Yo,
That's really just it.
yeah.
Right.
You,
Like
and
what
you
Bear
can
is
buy this
saying.
on the BTMO sweat shop. Go ahead and throw that banner down here so that you know.
Get
Swag.
that
know
scroll coming
get
back.
that, get that. You can buy it on our
Hey.
shop right
Go
there,
get
Bear.
that merch, y'all.
All right.
And you ain't got to get too much. I think a little bit is fine.
Exactly.
I think a little bit is
One sweatshirt works.
Right.
Yep.
And
they
like
real
what Bear
comfy
was
too.
saying. I'm gonna have to get one. I like the comfy hoodie. You can't do nothing wrong. Not the itchy, ones that stiff and you can't really move, but the nice
The nice
fleece.
soft
Look like
ones.
you're giving yourself a hug. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. And real quick, I just want to chime in. Shonda did comment as well. She said,
I was about to read that.
"Oh,
Go
you
for
want to
it.
go? Go ahead. You can go ahead and read."
All right. Everyone is diverse and complex in our own ways. We can show up as different parts of ourselves as well. I see different sides of myself in full force in each of my kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great
Dang, that's
point.
crazy.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
kids are super authentic. Because kids, they say it how they see it. You're gonna be like, okay, don't say that like that. It's like, but it's like, okay, I know, but you don't want to hurt their feelings.
Oh,
So we say it like this,
they're
you
like
know.
feelings. What's that?
Exactly.
I don't know what you mean. I'm just stating facts, you know?
Man, speak of authentic. Kids are authentic. I'll tell you what, man. Whew.
They are
No filters.
That's the
None.
true
none.
example of authentic all day. Go talk to a kid. I took my hat off one day. A kid was pointing at my hat and they're like, "You like lobsters?" First off, it's a crab, right? And so he threw me immediately when he said lobster. I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is a crab. So I went to take my hat off to look for my own confirmation. And he said, "Why your hair look like that?" What? Now I can't even correct you because I'm confused. What do you mean? What does my hair look like? I don't know what that means. What do you-
Got that hat hair
Uh,
going.
I love the honesty
My
and
hair was
truth,
short.
man.
It was it.
No.
Oh, I went to my kid's daycare, and one little kid tapped me and was like, "Are you a boy or a girl?" It's like, here we go.
Both from
Mind you, I'm on school grounds, so I'm like, how can I say this appropriately to this child that is not mine?
right, right, right.
So, what do you think? And that's where I go. I'm like, there you go. Well, then why do you wear boy clothes? Because dresses aren't comfortable. I can't do cartwheels and kick a ball in a dress. I'm like,
See,
oh, there we go. Good.
Perfect,
logic
Return to my
perfect.
done.
question.
The way
You was
kids'
cooking
minds
your
work.
feet.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh shoot. My little human, he's like, why are you fat? All right, kid. It's time to go. It's just it's time to
Well,
leave.
damn.
It's time to leave. Why because like everybody talks about all my life, people talked about how bony my knees are, right? They're like, why are your bone poking out? Excuse me, sir. Don't you got some Legos you need to go play with? Like what?
Kids.
It be feeling so
Kids.
mean though, don't it? Like
They
it
do,
be
but you know,
feeling
it's not gonna
They
mean,
come
do,
out.
mean
but
spirited as shit, and you're just like, I know you're just a child, but go away. Just, I
hey,
know
that's
you don't
real.
understand. What you just said was really rude, but I need you to stop.
Messing with my self-esteem right now. Kids are, no, they don't care about you and yours.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Not at all.
Mm-mm.
But shoot, you need somebody to tell you the truth. There it is.
Yeah.
You go ask a
Mm.
kid, what does outfit look like on me? They're gonna tell you.
You have no idea how good I feel when my niece tell me I look good in something, right? Coming from a teenager
Yes.
right there. I ain't gonna admit it. Don't tell her. Don't let her watch this. But sometimes
Keep it from her.
exactly. She
She
don't
don't
even
need
know.
to know her power.
Exactly. That's not necessary.
They know. Whether we tell them or not, they know.
Okay.
Probably.
But it's so funny because like my 2 years ago, my niece told me she liked when I shaved my head. I looked so handsome, right? So then she came here about a month ago or 2 months ago, and I was like, she's like, Uncle Mel, why don't you grow your hair? I was like, you just told me you liked it the other way.
Right.
Like I need you to pick one.
Yeah, trying to please you now. I can't grow it out. Can I grow it? What are we doing?
Right.
Right. Yeah.
They just go with the flow of how they feel in the moment.
Hmm. Gotta love that though.
Do.
There's a little bit of freedom in that you kind of lose as an adult.
Yeah, it gets snuffed out a little bit, don't it?
Hmm.
That's why we over here talking about authenticity. We trying to get back to that.
We is.
That part.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what I was gonna say. I forgot for the longest.
Let's go.
See, it clicked. It clicked. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the cue marker. Uh, it was about what Chris was talking about, and it reminded me about what Bear was saying about the how when everything became colonized and slavery and everything, and how being transmasculine we gotta hold back a bit. I also feel like that's a bit of cultural awareness. That's the lack of cultural awareness, especially in this country. Like diving a little bit into politics, but we had a certain political leader that obviously knew nothing about Black history to attempt to try to change Black history. And it was like that alone shows the lack of knowledge within the education system off of history. So it's like if we were allowed to actually watch things that happen within our history, you'll know that Black people, especially Black men, aren't aggressive, it's passion. But we're not shown those things. If we've seen those things, they're all in a negative light. It's gangs,
Hmm.
and different things like that. Music, even NWA. They were authentic with their lyrics. Yeah, they were. But they also had a reason behind it. It wasn't just the violence. They actually were portraying what was going on where they were at, but it was still painted completely negative. And it's like it's more to it. It's way more to it.
Mhm.
Absolutely. There's a narrative that's, and that comes back to the authentic author who's telling the story and from what lens. Anything could sound negative if you tell it with a certain spin, and if you leave out the backstory, because context is everything. You need to know why. Why are we here? Where did we come from? Who was involved? You only got one part of that story. You're only gonna understand it and perceive it from that part of the story.
Right. I mean, he who owns the media owns the narrative, right? I think what that pours into is just really recognizing our lack of critical thought in this season. Uh, there's so much influence, via social media. I think social media and media in general are great tools, right? But um, if you only rely on those things, then you're going to believe exactly what they tell you. So I think it's our job to not only critically think, but promote critical thought within people, which is, I mean, one of the ways that I feel like I do that is with like my children. Like, we were raised, we don't ask why. Like, that's not a thing. You can't ask why this and why that. Um, and I'm still very much uh, in tandem with that in terms of the respect and the tone. But I feel like children asking why to authority figures and as parents, your most authoritative figure, early on in your life is usually your parent. So if you don't allow them to ask you why and help them understand thought processes for things, they will become subservient people who just listen to authoritative figures or people they perceive to be authoritative because
Mhm.
of that. So it's really important that we also, as people, we temper our ability to snuff out critical thought, especially in our children, because the way that things are going now, there's so much access, so much convenience, where everybody, not just children, everybody is not thinking a step ahead. Nobody's playing chess anymore. Nobody's even playing checkers. Man, they barely playing Connect Four out here. You know what I'm saying? So it's a real thing that we should be promoting. And also one of the reasons I'm very passionate about having honest conversations and being like very authentic with what we're doing here, because critical thought, losing that, we walking dead people. For real, for real. Without that, we don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Blind leading the blind.
Man,
Mhm. And I got four eyes, so I like seeing. You know.
for real.
We see in
For
times
real.
times four up in here. Times five.
You got the iPhone 5X Zoom and shit. Hey, don't worry, you in good company because even though you can't see my third and fourth eye, I got them. Because without that, baby, it's over with us. You understand me?
Hmm. Need all the mouths to see for real.
Right.
All right, so let's get into a little bit of reflection of our transitions as individuals. And I worded this kind of thinking of like being transgender, but excuse me, with anything in life as human, being human includes transitions all over the place. So, um, I said, what has changed for you since transitioning that looks and feels more authentic to how you show up in the world? So that can be kind of any transition that really helped you feel more authentic in you. And I can say for me, like I had a tendency in general to do what other people were doing instead of following my own natural inclination because, well, as they say on TikTok, I have a touch of the tism. So I was just observing human behavior. Is it?
I'm sorry.
Break
I
that
just had
down
to
for
make
us old
it.
folks.
I'm
My
a
bad.
I'm
My
a I'm gonna Google that.
I'm gonna break that down for everybody.
Right. I'm gonna need you.
When,
Yeah. Cause I. Yeah. Hold on.
when we say a touch of the tism, it basically being on the autistic spectrum.
Mm.
So it's a spectrum. It goes, it's not just they say it that way to be funny, but it's I'm probably a little autistic. That's also basically what it's saying. I'm a little autistic. So
Mm.
I have always observed people and then acted from the space of, okay, this is how we're supposed to do this. Got it. I'm supposed to be in a relationship after a certain point and be with that person and work through our problems, even if I'm not actually interested in being with them. That sounds right. You, like we just don't like being alone. We just like being in relationships. That's what everybody's doing. I could do that. Um, and so like part of my transition, but even before that, I was really just getting into like I was Buddhist for 3 years. Ain't nobody else in my family done that. Well, that's not explicitly true, but for my immediate family, that wasn't really a thing. I'm surrounded by Christians. And so, me going outside of that space, being queer in the first place, was already outside of the norm. And then going into being a Buddhist, and then going into um, being into astrology and being into tarot, and going into liking crystals. Even when I became vegan for 2 years, that was the weirdest thing. I was the only one. I had to exist outside of what I knew as normal for such a long time. And every single one of those transitions for me brought me to this place where I was like, you know what? I've done all these other things that put me outside this box. Like I haven't been inside that box for decades at this point. What's stopping me from fully being the man that I know myself to be? Because there was a conversation I had many years ago, and somebody said, when you think of the labels that you use to describe yourself, what order do you put them in? And so when I would describe myself previous to transitioning, I was a gay black person. Like, I never identified with woman, I never identified with girl. And so when I really sat in that space and had that realization, I had to go, okay, well, if I don't really identify with that, then how do I identify? But without all those previous experiences of being outside of that box, I wouldn't have even approached that conversation because it was there the whole time. It was there. My mother had that conversation with me. And y'all have probably heard this story before, but my mother was the first person at 19 who sat me down and said, I think you have gender identity issues. And those were the exact words that she used. And I bypassed it and I said, no, I'm pretty sure I just like girls. You know, it's fine. I'm a lesbian and we're just gonna stay there for a couple of decades. And you know that when I came out to her as trans, she said, duh, ma'am, I need you to take this a bit more seriously because I was nervous. Like I was stressing out about this conversation and you just said duh to my face. I'm gonna need you to be for real. So those transitions were so implicit in the total transition of how I feel, how I interact with the world now.
I feel that. I can say my story started pretty similar. Like as a kid, honestly, I didn't know what gay or lesbian or any of that was. I had relatives that were. I didn't like. I remember going to my cousin's house, and he was an older guy. My mom was like, "Okay, before we go in, he has a boyfriend." I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "No, he has a boyfriend." I'm like, "Is he an adult?" Yeah. So, like, because you told me I couldn't date until I was like 17. So I'm not understanding why we having this conversation.
What's the
You
problem?
know, all right, what's going on? And it honestly never clicked until high school. Like wearing boy clothes, I was so scared to go and ask my grandmother. It was a pair of Bugle Boy shorts. I know back in the day, Bugle Boys was it.
Mhm.
I'm like, they gonna say no. But I went, asked my grandmother, and she just started laughing. I'm like, what is so funny? Like, I'm like, she laughed at me because I want these shorts. Like, but she was happy from that day on. She beat me to the boys' clothes section. Like all the FUBU gears, y'all remember? Yeah, that was hot. She put them all in the cart. I'm like, hey, okay, hey. At school, completely different reaction. It's like, oh, okay, but I like this. It was like I had to go through. For me, it was getting back to astrology and stuff like that. And my little people, one of them mad, they fighting each other. Um, it's a toy in there. And I had to get back into that, and like you said, going tarot and crystals. And my mom was always very supportive. Like she was a little nervous at first, like, okay, I don't want my baby to go to hell or nothing like that, but I'm gonna see what they talking about. But she never condemned me or anything. So it's like I had to get to that point in the external world, not worry about getting judged or condemned or exiled or excommunicated or anything like that because of who it is that I am. Because it was a whole bunch of different rules and regulations that I'm like, but I don't agree with that. But what about this? But what about this? Well, then why does it say this but not this? But well, this doesn't make sense. Even getting kicked out of a couple, junior church classes for asking questions like, well, you just don't question God. To this day, if I got a question for God, I'm gonna sit there and be like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. I'm gonna need you to explain this and make it make sense because I don't know what's going on. And that's me being authentic because I can't lie. He knows everything. So I might as well be 100% open and honest. And it was being able to really embrace all the nuances. I love that word. Within myself, within the spirituality, and really going back through from being lesbian to taking tea in transition. So being able to embrace my feminine side and then my masculine side, listening to what other people saying, like, well, no, you you're probably trans because this and this and this, and me reading like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds right. But it's like, no, that's only half of me by going through that and living through it. And like, but I feel like I'm leaving this out because in this crew, well, now I can't look at a baby or a puppy and go, oh my God, look at the little puppy. And the people look at me like, what is wrong with this dude? So being able to get to that place of like, okay, two spirit, all right, that fits me. Because even in popular form of non-binary is not associated with either masculine or feminine. It's like, but
Mhm.
I'm both. And with my great uncle and my great aunts being Native American, two spirit just fit like perfectly. I'm like, okay, I'm here. This is me. This is who it is that I am, and not feeling like I have to do this or do that or be this or be that. I could just be me. And the people that accept it. The people that don't, then they don't. They don't have to understand my path. I have to understand it. They ain't gotta like it. They ain't gotta appreciate it. It's not for them. It's for me. And that just opened up everything. Like Bear had mentioned tarot. One of my favorite cards is actually uh, the Devil card because in the Tarot Book of Dreams, it has a guy in a cage, but the door is wide open. But the devil's behind it, and it's like we feel like we're in this cage, but if we just and he's bent over. It's like, but if we just look up, the door is open,
Mhm.
but he can't get out the cage because he crushed over. He's like, nope, I'm stuck here. It's like, no, the door's open,
The door's
and
open.
that it represents bondage and being stuck and feeling trapped. And it's like, no, the door's right there. We just gotta walk through
That's that them Capricorn vibes.
it.
That's
Right.
that Chris don't know how to relax vibe right there. We love you, man.
I was listening. How'd I get thrown into this?
I just know.
See what had
It,
happened was
it's tarot. It's tarot. Anybody that knows tarot, the devil card is associated with Capricorn.
Okay, that
the
makes
So
sense.
my
I was
bad.
Saturn
like,
energy.
I
I
was trying to
it
figure out
it
how I
could sound very pointed. My bad. There's actually an association. I'm not just calling you
got. Okay, that
uptight
makes
for no reason, buddy.
okay. I appreciate it. I was like, wait, I was just, part of the audience just now. How I just get tossed
It's like I
into
was
this?
learning, and now I'm the lesson. What do you mean?
Exactly.
Because Capricorns are very structured. It's like, no,
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
But it's like, of course, you got something that's over the top. Chris isn't, which I definitely appreciate. But I do know something that is like, okay, just too
There's got to be
much. Too
balance.
much.
There's got to
I'm
be
Yeah.
balance.
I'm too ADHD, too ADHD
Just a
for
little bit is fine.
some of it though. So there's that part. So
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, let's not talk about your placements, Chris, because they're a little
that's
redundant, but
that's
also like really powerful.
and you know what? It's for another day. Another
We're gonna
another
save that for another topic. Yeah.
for another
Yeah,
topic for
yeah,
another day. We could tap
yeah.
into the spiritual realm.
We'll get into astrology next time or something. You
Yeah,
kids.
because we will be here for another 4.5 hours.
Right.
Right,
That is literally
right.
jumping down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
It's a
we
big
and we don't know how to come back. Like,
mm-mm,
Mm-mm.
you know,
that's that is dangerous. But
end up chatting and forgetting we're on live and shit.
yeah.
See how
Right?
I feel?
Because if people want to know what we're like when we're all
Hey, Chris, can you
together,
post that
that
question?
is it right there.
Right. The middle where we were talking about food, that's what that's like.
Mhm,
Where we went
mhm,
real left.
Yeah,
Just we had a
mhm.
whole topic and they were like, so food. And then we came
exactly.
back. That's what it's like.
Exactly.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
like
There's so much ADHD on this call, amen. So much right now. So much.
Mhm.
Hey,
Did I
Chris,
say
can you
wow?
post the question back up on the bottom for me real quick, please?
all right, we'll do.
Thank you, Chaya. I still don't have an answer. I just needed to read the question again.
So, so I think like when I
You're
came
waiting.
when I came out as trans, it was in 2014, and it wasn't up until 2021 that I have started living my authenticity. And I think what triggered that was when I came out. getting my mother's approval really meant a lot to me. And so, because I wasn't getting that approval, I really wasn't living out loud, right? And the December before she passed, I was before she passed over, I was in Texas taking care of her for a whole week. And I went to give her a bath one day and she goes, "Wait a minute, I can't take a bath today." I was like, "Yeah, you can take a bath. You finna take one." And she's like, "No, no, no. You a whole man now. I can't get undressed in front of you." And for her, that was just really funny to her. But for me, that was
She saw you.
she finally sees me.
She
You
saw
know,
you.
she sees me for who I am. So from that moment on, I didn't care how anybody else saw me. That's the only person I care who saw me. You
Yeah.
know. So yeah.
And it's beautiful that you had that experience taking care of her in a time where like she really could have went a different way with that. Like she could have just still, I assume, just not acknowledged it. Like, but to have
Yeah.
that moment, that's beautiful. Even if she
Yeah.
was making jokes.
Yeah, but she, she passed away that was in December, and then she passed away in February. But February, I was there with her. You know what I'm saying? And she saw, like you said, she saw me.
She saw you.
You know?
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love it when family shows up because that's one of the things that I know we really struggle with as queer people. And if people don't like the word or phrase queer, I apologize, but LGBTQ plus is a lot for me to say sometimes. So as queer people, it's difficult sometimes when you I don't like the word coming out, but when you start to be honest about who you are
Mm.
and your family starts treating you differently or acting different around you or openly being rude to you, it's so hard to deal with. And that's just another like pile on, if you will, for the experience of trying to be authentic in your life, because people, your family is those are the people you grew up around sometimes, the people that helped form the way you interact with other people, and it makes it difficult to be authentic out in the world sometimes when you can't get that from the people who you grew up around. The doggy's calling me. I'll be right back.
I think that just to kind of ride what Bear was saying and Mel was just saying, but I think a lot of in our formative years we experience so much, coming up. Like, people are like, well, why is family so important? Why is family so important? People like family is they are people too, right? And I do believe I don't necessarily always believe blood is thicker than water either. But say, I mean, family, whether it be blood or chosen, the people that we have spent our formative years with, like when our brains are developing, when our attitude in life, like all of these, like when you're born, you're new here. You ain't been here before. You ain't had no experiences with this. I mean, not this particular experience, right? So you're new here, and you're in a new experience, and the first people that you spend your life with, they are, whether they like it or not, and whether you like it or not, are responsible for a lot of your thought processes, a lot of the ways that you view the world and the way that you view yourself. So whether we, none of our families are, I know it. We all got a level of dysfunction, uh, some more, some less, but having the first people that you touch base with on earth, like see you and understand you, it just ain't nothing. And it's unfortunate that some people have to detach from that at some point in their life because some people just never get it. But at the same time, why it's so important for people to seek that and for that to be affirmed, especially our mothers, man. They are the portal. They're the
Hmm.
portal. So there's just and even fathers as well. Like, I mean, even though they're not the portal, they had something to do with it. Everybody was involved in our arrival in this place, and
I magically appeared because that brings a lot more thoughts to my brain that I want to have.
yeah, everybody except you, Chris. Like, we know you different. Like, we know you just like you manifested out of like
He was
it.
delivered by an actual
Yeah,
stork. Like he was.
100%. You don't even know where the story got you from. I know how that goes. But
Well,
yeah,
God,
everybody except
God
Chris.
placed me here.
It's like cute little
Uh,
brown baby in a basket
he was
somewhere.
like, "Look, let me just go get this little action figure. We gonna sit him right here and see what."
This little boss baby. But no, go ahead.
Um, but no, I mean, just truthfully, like, understanding that, like, we also live in a time where, especially in community, we are like, everybody's like, if they don't like it, forget them. It's not that easy. It's not that easy to cut the cord in that way, because again, you got people that are responsible for your arrival into this place. Think about that. You got people that are responsible for your arrival here. God chose somebody to be a portal to bring you right here. Whole experience is based off of coming through them. You know what I'm saying? And then the people that are subsequently surrounded you in that process. So it is not weak, or it is not crazy, or it is not outlandish for you to want that connection, to be something. And I think it's just really important that we talk about where we're in a very much cancel culture and talking about transitions. When we transition, our families transition too. So we have to give grace. We have to open up. We conversation. We got to be tough in spaces too. We gotta, buck up, and we gotta eat stuff. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to also do our inventory on ourselves. Like, what is my family really saying to me, and what am I hearing? Like, we have to have responsibility in that communication as well. I don't like this whole, well, if they don't like it, lump it. You know what I'm saying? No, man, like, no, it don't work like that. It just don't work like that. And yes, in some cases there are people who really are experiencing things that, where people are safe in their experience, right? But I'm just talking about overall how we just be so ready to cancel people in general. Like, F it. I'm not, you ain't with it, then I ain't with it. Like, we gotta do a little bit more work. It's gotta be a little bit more expansive than that. These people are more important to us than that. So, Mel, I thank you for sharing that as parent, and I'm so glad also that you had that experience. And I just pray that we can help other people, like, walk through that, talk them through that, and so that other people are having that experience as well.
Absolutely. And also, I would say, leave space for the people who, at the end of the day, have tried all they can and get nothing in return, because
Mhm.
those are the people who, like, the strength it takes to walk away from your family when they refuse
Mhm.
to acknowledge who you are as a person, that takes a lot.
It
And
does.
so, more power to those people, because I'm a baby. I'm a cry every day if I can't talk to my mama just because she don't recognize me for who I know myself to be. That would hurt my feelings so
Yeah.
much. Like, that would just hurt. So I can't, like, I don't want to imagine. I'll say it that way, what that feels like. Um, but I know that when people go through that, the family that they find outside of that, I think it does something different that maybe we don't get. Like, everybody has a little bit of found family. We are
Mhm.
brothers. This is a part of our found family, us sitting here together and having this conversation. Um, but to have it and not have people outside of that knew you as a child, And I guess that goes for people who were orphans as well, because that happens all over the place. Just I don't know. I'm typical cancer shit right now. Like I'm so family oriented that I don't know who I would be without those people.
Mhm.
I just don't. So I can't imagine having to distance myself from them in that way.
I think it's in love on that found family too. You know, those like you said who tried all they can. If you encounter somebody like that in your life, make sure you loving on them people. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all loving on each other, but make sure you loving on them people because that means that you have an assignment. You know what I'm saying? Like if 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 that's where they at in life, you have an assignment. Love on them people, take care of them people, don't take them for granted, and be patient with them. You know what I'm saying? That's real.
That was my life for 6 years, my entire life up to 2021. But and it was one of those things where no one knew that I was dealing with that. It was me living behind a mask and
Mm.
pretending I was okay. I always say, "Where's the help for the help?" Where are the strong for the strong? Who's gonna hold me up
Yes,
now that I need help?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even more important to have that moment with your mom.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
Y'all don't make me cry.
we're trying
Oh,
not to. Trust me, because we
oh,
are,
Hey,
we are, we are,
this is a authentic space. You can do what you need to do over here. You understand
that's
me?
right.
but
I
we only
do
got
know that.
3 minutes, so
Right. Y'all
What you
trying to
say,
tap
man?
into my cancer rising. Nope. Don't-
Ain't got time. Ain't got time for
Or
me to
the
cry.
water signs.
hey, hey,
You got Cancer Mars? Is that
Cancer
what it is?
rising.
Oh, Cancer Rising.
And both Vedic and Western. So yeah. And it's like,
Oh,
nope. You will permanently be a cancer rising this lifetime. No escape.
enjoy those emotions.
Right? On
Just
the whole wheel.
every 2 hours, like the moon. Just a different mood. Like, I think I'm angry. I'll be angry for 2 hours, but it'll change. All right. We're at the end of our live stream. Yeah, we did good. We had a
hey,
nice, great
Yes,
conversation.
we
It
we
did.
feels
did.
nice. We
This
built
was
some
dope,
good
man. For real.
Yeah,
community here. So,
yeah.
um, woo. I'll do my outro. Living authentically is something we all have to figure out for ourselves as individuals, and this conversation definitely highlighted a lot of that. So, and as we have mentioned throughout this conversation, that's something you do regardless of if you are trans or not. Life has a myriad of transitions and opportunities for us to delve further into ourselves and be more authentic in the way that we show up and the way that we express ourselves, the way we talk, the way we dance, like no one's looking. We
Hmm.
was just talking about Chris's knees the other day.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's
Been
fun.
seeing Chris make some moves, and that's
No,
not, we ain't
mm,
used to that.
no, no. Y'all seen a whole nother side that
You cannot
Mhm.
confirm or deny.
exactly.
It was a secret, and I'm sorry, I spilled the beans.
There was no cameras.
We're gonna take it back.
There was no pictures to prove it.
No proof. No proof didn't happen.
There's no pictures. It didn't happen.
Mhm. As I like to say when I'm driving, no cops didn't happen. You can't.
Hey,
Did
hey,
not happen for sure.
Ain't nobody to pull me over. You can't prove that it happened.
exactly, exactly. But
Hmm.
all right.
So,
So
let's see. What you got?
I just want to just thank everybody who tuned in and listened to us today, live, and when we repost this again later, we will repost this as well. We are going to repost this on IG because we couldn't go live there, but we're going to try to repost it there. Facebook, the ticks of the top. I'm sorry, TikTok and YouTube. So all the places.
TikTok.
Yeah. So make sure you share it as well. Just a little bit too. He got in the notes, but I'm going to go ahead and say it since I'm talking. We still have our support groups. So this is our thing now. We're going to go live every first Sunday of the month, right? So tune in and watch us live every first Sunday of the month. We're still going to do our in person every second Monday of the month, which this month is going to be October 9th. And then we're also going to have our in person support group on the third Thursday, which is October 19th. Those two support groups are exclusively for black trans men, non-binary AFAB as well are welcomed. But that is exclusively a safe space for us to be able to feel authentic and be ourselves in those moments, right? So that's why that space is there. Outside of that, we do all have our handles on underneath our names. So if you want to follow us individually, follow us there as well. But outside of that, that is all that I have for everybody. And again, thank you for tuning in to our first live
Hold on.
podcast, live stream. We
Let me
appreciate and love every last one of you. But if anybody else has anything, I'm gonna let you that have the last words.
let me just go back for a second because I think when you said the support groups, the third Thursday group is online
Yes, third Thursday is online.
and that's through Zoom. So
Correct.
check the socials for the information so you can do that. And then the topic that we do for our live stream, we're hoping to continue in our support groups as well. So if you watch the conversation and you want to have the conversation in person or online, absolutely catch up with us, particularly as Black transmasculine people out in the world. We need those safe spaces to have those conversations. So um, check us out. We should get the social scrolling on the bottom
It's coming.
one day. There we go.
It's on a to-do
Beautiful.
list. All right.
I love
Oh,
it.
so does that mean every podcast I could play the first of the month up on Thugs and Harmony? I mean, I'm just saying.
That should be our intro song.
I feel
Right?
like
I'll see what I
we
can
do
make.
not own the rights to this music, but it
We
was a
do.
rite of passage. Thank you.
That part.
Although it won't be the first of the month every time, but that would have been cool though.
True that. True
It
that.
counts.
True.
It counts.
It would.
It's the first of something.
Right.
My bad. If anybody else wants to say some stuff, y'all good? All
Good.
right.
Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. Have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone.
Take care.
Good night, everyone.
Buenas noches.